Howdy, SimTheWorld here. We are back with Farming Simulator 19, the Alpine expansion. So last episode we left off with me taking care of both fields 3 and 4. You saw me fertilize and lime field 34, and we bought the manure trailer, and I was using that to fertilize. So you can see we actually used up quite a bit of the manure here. We still have a full trailer load here, but the field is planted, it's ready to go, it's full of wheat, and it's full of weeds. I'm not too happy at all. There are a lot of weeds trickled throughout here. If we jump over to the map, take a look here. Yeah, you can see them scattered all throughout. It's like I didn't even use herbicide, which, to be clear, I had to, we plowed, we lined, and we fertilized, and that got it a good chunk of the way, but that took care of all of the lime. Then I cultivated, I fertilized again, and then used the herbicide, and then we planted, because I wanted to try using the herbicide before we did the planting, see if that worked out, which obviously it didn't. And then finally at the end, there's just a little more spots I had to do with the fertilizer. I came back through. This spot in particular just wouldn't change. I'm not sure if that's an issue. The rest of the field is the 200 kilograms per hectare, except for that little spot. And it doesn't look like it has anything to do with this little loamy, sandy loam area. I'm not... Could be a glitch. It could be just trying to layer. I know I had to go over this like 3 times because this section right here, you can see from the yield, this area was so low and so deprived of fertilizer that it took a few trips, whereas field 4 only took 2. So with this said, I also want to make mention the TMR mixer. We're out of silage, and we're almost out of straw. Fortunately, we have over 300,000 liters of TMR in the mixer, so that'll get us through winter. But at the same time, we do have our fields are ready to be cut, so we can bale these. And I was actually thinking of doing doing hay first, but seeing that we're out of silage means all of our fields are going towards silage bales. We can do hay in the spring, or technically the summer. But that's going to be a secondary. I want to try to sneak that in. We do have plenty of food, so I'm not too worried. But we got to get rid of these weeds before they spread. And in addition to the weeds, we got to bale. And there's a couple of contracts, especially this baling one I want to take. Make sure we can get any extra silage bales off of his field that we can. And make sure we can make some money. Double check here. So field 5 we've only fertilized once. Field 9 we've fertilized twice, so we're actually going to ditch that contract. Field 14 we've only done once this year. 16 we haven't fertilized at all. So we're going to take all these contracts, and of course we're not going to get it all done today. This is stuff that will keep me busy through mid-autumn. But I want to get these on the books, that way we can make some money while also taking care of our field. With this all said, the first thing I need to take care of is the weeds. So let's get started on that. You'll remember we did have our new herbicide spreader. The sprayer is huge, so this should take just about no time at all. Get rid of these weeds. We're going to do the whole field to see if that helps with preventing weeds going forward. I know this will be the second time I sprayed this field. It's a little frustrating because I was hoping that this would be a preventative measure. With that said, it doesn't appear to be so. Let's go ahead. I'm also going to, I don't know how often I do this with you guys, but for this, I think it will make it easier. We can go ahead and use the GPS. Let me set this up real quick. And our GPS system is set up. This will make sure we keep the line straight. I know you can easily see It's a little darker on one side, that's okay. But this just makes it a whole lot easier to get different views, and we paid 15 grand for the GPS system. I want to make sure we're getting some use out of it. So with that said, oh, here comes the patches of weeds, and they are dead. Still got quite a bit to go, so we'll do a little bit of a time lapse here and we'll come back in just a bit. Well, as you probably could have told from the time lapse, the rain is coming down and there's no end in sight. It's supposed to start to clear up this evening, but it's starting to get a bit dark, and the one thing I don't want to do with you guys is do work in the dark and the rain. I don't think there's much contract work we can do in the rain anyhow. Maybe we could fertilize. I know we could mow and bale, but that seems a bit counterintuitive. Tried to dodge the raindrops myself. We were out in it all day doing the herbicide, and I'm not sure if spraying in the rain is the best idea, but the game allowed us to do it, so I'm not going to get too legalistic about it. All the weeds are taken care of. I did notice when we were going through, there are a few sections of the field that didn't germinate. There's one larger portion here. There's a couple trickled throughout, but overall the crop's looking pretty good. I think we're going to have a good harvest next fall, but of course this is where I got to wrap up the day. The one thing I did notice is, I don't know, you guys can see the rain coming through here, right? This is the one downside I have with the barn, is it looks like the rain just pours right through the barn. And I've gone to see if there's any leaks up top here. We got the little ladder. And I don't know if it's the windows that it's just going straight through, but we got some leakage issues here. But it is cool, we're able to get up here. That ladder is useful. At least, take a look in here. But yeah, you can walk right through these. I think that's how the rain's getting in. But this is where I think I'm going to wrap up the episode. Seems like we're going to need to take care of all these contracts we took tomorrow and try to get some more silage in here. We'll finish up the straw. We may need to buy straw come next spring. it was an issue. I didn't think we were going to need the straw bales this year. But given how many cows we're up to, I was completely wrong. Of course, yeah, we got so much work. If you guys have any ideas what we should be focused on, if there's any upgrades we should be doing this winter, please let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.